Hi friends, you're watching Car and Bike. Welcome to this very special conversation with Shashank Srivastava from Maruti Suzuki. Shashank-san, thank you so much for being with us today. We understand
Thank
it's
you.
been a busy, almost busy 2 years for you now, starting from early last year till now. Back-to-back launches, most of them new generations, so brand new models as well. Some absolutely
Yeah.
new cars. So everything from a facelift to a new generation to a brand new car. How would you summarize it? Just been too busy for you, right?
Yes, so I think, as you rightly pointed out, quite busy on the product side. And also, on the side of our process and systems, we have sort of upgraded both in terms of the digitalization, the connectivity, and so on and so forth. So that is largely in response to the new retail experiences that consumers want. So yes, it's been a busy year both on the product front and on the infrastructure slash system slash processes front. And it's been good because market is changing very fast, and we hope that we are much better prepared to take on the challenges of tomorrow.
So I just wanted to ask, specifically over the last two cars that have come this year, the ones that we saw at the Auto Expo that were launched in the last 2 months. Talking about them specifically, how has it been for you? How has the response been like for both the Fronx and the Jimny?
Yes, so the Fronx actually crossed the 52,000 booking mark a couple of days back. So it's been a great response. We are doing just around 10,000 vehicles a month. We have some issues with the overall supplies, but the response seems to have been very good. We are getting bookings of the Fronx at the rate of almost like 650, 660 per day. That's a good
Right.
rate. Jimny, we have so far have a bookings about 31,000 bookings so
Okay.
far, and after the price hike has been announced, I mean the price have been announced on the 7th of June.
June.
We are getting in the last 7 days about 151 bookings every day for the Jimny, which is also good considering that the average that we were receiving before the price announcement had been around 92 bookings per day.
So has it been in line with what the customer expected? I'm talking about the prices and which of the variants, also with respect to automatic and manual, is getting preference from the consumer?
So it's like 50% manual transmission and automatic transmission before the price was announced. After the price, the manual transmission has gone up a little bit and automatic has come down a little bit, but still quite comparable in terms of overall volumes. In terms of the pricing, I think many of the consumers initially on the social media and also some of the analysts said that the pricing was higher than expectation. But I think judging by the bookings that we have seen, I think now the message which has gone to the consumers is that when you compare like to like, then this seems to be a good price. And I think the sense of it being a higher price has been built because they compare with the Thar initial price, starting price of 10.54. But that
Right.
vehicle is a three-door vehicle. It's a two-wheel drive. It has two airbags compared with a six airbag the for the Jimny, the
Right.
four-wheel drive. And like to like, I think the Jimny is still cheaper by about 1,13,000 compared with the corresponding competing vehicle. I think now that sense, once you get into the details, well, of course, people would probably be expecting that Maruti should also have a two-wheel drive version,
Right.
and starting price being lower. Yes, but we thought that the basic nature and an honest portrayal of a four-wheel drive vehicle that Jimny is should have a four-wheel drive, and that is
So is
why.
that so is that something you're completely ruling out even in the future, or it could be of a some consideration
Yeah, so
maybe?
at the moment there is no plan, of course. Remember, with this 31,000 booking seems to be like a waiting periods of, by judging by the current production levels, of about 7-8 months. So that's like not so good to introduce new variants and new product on top of. So we are trying to ramp up the production and try to give the people who have booked the vehicle already the vehicle as fast as possible.
So is this booking number in line with what you expected, or and what do you expect in the future? Maybe say in the next 5 6 months, what are your targets with the Jimny?
Yeah, roughly similar. Although I must say we didn't have a target in mind because, like anyway, we just see what is the response of the consumers before we, sort of build that number in our mind that this is the number which looks likely, and therefore we have to plan production according to that. Normally, we have this 3-month period after the launch when we watch every aspect of the booking and the retail, and then come to a conclusion what this vehicle would be, the volumes would look like, accordingly plan our production. That's how it's going for the Jimny. We just started sale on the 7th of this month.
Right, right. And just briefly about the Fronx and specifically about the turbo variant of the Fronx, what's the response been like on that front? And how's the consumer choosing turbo versus NA on the Fronx?
So interestingly, for the Fronx, 55% of the booking was turbo. But once we announced the price, and I think we announced the price on 23rd or 24th of March, I think. So that time, 55%, till that time, 55% was turbo, 45% was the K12. But subsequently, there was a drastic change. And now, since the launch, 15% is turbo, 85% is the naturally aspirated. So there seems to have been a movement post the announcement of the prices. So obviously, the value people are seeing in the turbo at that price is probably less than what they see for the manual. I mean, for the naturally aspirated.
So if you look at the total number of cars that you need to deliver, that your bookings, what is the pending number like for the total portfolio right now, and what are the timelines we're looking at?
So you're talking of Fronx and Jimny or total? Total
Total,
is
total.
about 389,000, 387,000 is the total bookings.
Almost 4 lakh cars that you have to deliver now.
Correct. That's right. And they are
And
largely in models where we are not able to produce enough because of the semiconductor issue. So we have
right.
like Ertiga, almost like 95,000 Ertiga bookings, about 55,000 Brezza, 31,000 Jimny. Fronx is about 32, 33,000 because we have started delivering almost 10,000 a month. So all the otherwise cumulative bookings are 50,000 plus 52,000 and so on. So yes, there is a challenge, and hopefully Q2 onwards we should be able to reduce the waiting periods as production becomes better.
So has that improved over the last few months, the semiconductor issue, or you still struggling with it?
We are struggling with some models now. So initially we were struggling with all models, but now we are struggling with some models, specifically the larger ones, Ertiga, XL6, Brezza, the Vitara, the Fronx, and so on. Last year we lost about 170,000 units because of this semiconductor. Q3 about 45,000, Q4 about 38,000. This quarter also we are losing in April and May. uh, uh, Good numbers. Exact numbers, of course, once the quarter is over, we can reveal. But expectedly from Q2 onwards, it will become better.
Right. And let's talk about the higher end of your portfolio. Maybe something like Grand Vitara and specifically the strong hybrid version of the Grand Vitara.
Yeah.
How is that car doing right now, and are you able to meet up with the demand of the consumer with that car?
So there is waiting in the Grand Vitara also. So roughly about a 4 month or so, depending on the variant. Yes. So cumulatively, our total booking for the strong hybrid is around 25-27% yeah, overall.
All
Um,
right.
yeah. So yes, it's doing pretty well, and it's quickly become the second largest seller in its category. So far, cumulatively, we have sold almost 70,000 Vitaras. So it's a good beginning in the last 6 months, 6.5. No, 6 months. It was introduced in September, so about 8 months, and hopefully this trend will continue in going forward as well.
So that earlier perception that used to be there maybe 10 years ago, that consumer don't want to spend a lot of money on buying a car from Maruti Suzuki, that you can see changing with respect to the response on the Grand Vitara and of course the upcoming flagship.
You are talking from a price point. So yes, so
price point?
so less than 10 lakh, our market share is about 60%. But
Okay.
even from 10 lakh to 15 lakh, we have become the market leaders. We
All
were,
right.
last year we had a market share of about 26%. This year so far, our market share has climbed up to 30% in that category, 10 to 15 lakh. So this
All right.
initial thought that Maruti Suzuki may not do well in the 10 to higher than 10 lakh category vehicle is probably not coming, is not right, because we have become the market leaders in that as well. So that has given us also some confidence to try to participate in the 20 lakh plus category also. But obviously, it's a different category from 10 to 15 lakh, and it's more challenging, I suppose. And therefore, we have to get it right from a marketing perspective.
So which of course has given you more confidence to launch a new flagship, which is going to soon come in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the fact that we quickly became market leaders in the 10 to 15 lakh category gave us a lot of confidence. And while the greater than 20 lakh category is a smaller portion of the market, just about 5.3,
Mm.
5.4% of the overall
Right.
industry. But that,
Right.
yes, it gave us confidence that we can try and make inroads in this segment as well.
So what are the you briefly spoke about challenges that come with that over 20 lakh rupee price bracket. What are some of those challenges for you with the upcoming car? Now we know the name, of course, Invicto is the name of the vehicle. So according to you, what will be some of the bigger challenges that you will have to deal with respect to the consumer behavior?
So consumer, obviously, we have gone up in terms of the brand perspective from a premium side of view, looking at from a premium point of view. So earlier, Maruti Suzuki was known only as a value for money, great network, low maintenance, and low spare parts cost, and that reliability and count on us type of image, which is still very important, because in India those are still very important values: fuel efficiency, reliability, peace of mind. They are all very important values, and we continue to work on in that direction. However, in the as the economy has grown and consumers have become more aspirational, this has also become, the volumes also have climbed up in the categories priced at 10 lakh and above. And therefore one of the big challenges is that Maruti Suzuki should scale up in that consumer aspirational quotient. The aspirational index for Maruti Suzuki should also go up. It's gone up because ever since we launched the Nexa in 2016, we did get the benefit of that index going up for us. And hopefully going forward, we have to increase further. That's one big challenge. And of course, in this case, the challenge also is how to get it right from a marketing and positioning perspective. Uh, because not on one side there are some constant, I suppose, with supply, as you would also have heard, but at the same time consumer expectations and aspirations have also gone up. So we'll have to do a good marketing job, I think, if we have to make this a success.
But can you briefly, give some sort of a teaser about what to expect from the Invicto? Because consumers want to know about, the car is coming soon in a few weeks. What can they expect from this new vehicle from Maruti Suzuki?
So the product is like a MPV. It's a largish MPV. So great in inner space. Interior space is great. It has got, of course, the details, the technical details, I'll will be able to tell only at the time of the launch.
Right.
But it's got great features, good tech, and it's on the luxury, on the contemporary luxury side, and that is how it will be positioned. It's a vehicle, it's an extraordinary vehicle for extraordinary people.
Right, sir. My final two questions, Shashank san. First, of course, the entry level segment in our country, cars that are priced around 5 lakh rupees. A lot of talk about how the consumer is not really wanting to buy these cars in large numbers anymore. Is that true? I mean, based on what you have seen, how the industry and you have been performing, didn't you see a trend that more consumers shifting towards more expensive cars? They're willing to spend more and not buy entry level vehicles?
See, the market for entry level vehicles actually largely with a high percentage of people are the first time buyers. The Alto, for example, has almost 65% first time buyers. Now, first time buyers in India consistently have remained high because of our demographics. 65% of our population being less than 35 years of age. That hasn't changed, and that won't change in 2040. I think that's the projection. So the first time buyers will still remain here. The economy is growing, so the requirement for transportation will go up. And since public transport is not so great in our country, the requirement for personal transport will go up. So imagine a first time buyers with requirement for personal transport going up. So there would be a demand for the entry level cars, absolutely no doubt. Only thing is whether the demand can be fulfilled at the price point which we are offering today. So it does appear over the last few years that the affordability factor has come down, not the number of people wanting, but the fact number of people who can afford, because the income levels haven't gone up at the pace at which prices have gone up for various reasons: regulatory stringency, the road tax, registration tax, the commodity prices going up, the feature level going up, and so on. There are many reasons why price points have gone up. The affordable factor has come down, and remember this segment is very price sensitive because and because the price elasticity is high, we have seen a drop in the volumes in this segment. So from about a high of 15 lakh 60,000 or so, it came down to last year it was 13 lakh 40,000. So it has come down, and as an overall share of the market, which used to be 45-46%, has come down to about 34% now. So yes, I believe that the market exists, and once the income levels increase, when the economy bounces back, it has happened last year, the economy has bounced back. I would expect that in the overall industry percentage may come down or remain the same, but actual volumes, the absolute volumes will go up in this category also.
Right. My last question is about alternate fuels, a very important part again for the consumer as far as for you, especially talking about CNG. Now, some sort of shift in the trend in terms of sales and what the consumer is demanding. Is it going up? Is it going down? And of course, we have to talk about EVs before we let you go. So, anything that you can share with us to electric or from the brand in the future?
Okay, so first talking about the CNG. CNG, we have seen a consistent increase in the volumes for CNG, especially after the prices of the CNG fuel was adjusted a couple of months back. In April, I think the second week it was adjusted downwards. As a result, the gap between CNG per fuel price and the gasoline and diesel price have again increased, and therefore, purely from a running cost aspect, the CNG has seen a big increase. Our total portfolio now has about 14 CNG vehicles, Maruti
Right.
Suzuki, and our total volumes last month was 42,000 CNG vehicles, which is like pretty
Okay.
large. The year before last year we did about 3 lakh 35,000 or so CNG, and this year we should be doing somewhere between 4 lakh 75 to 500,000. That's a very good growth. That's one. And our penetration of CNG in our portfolio has increased to about 26%. It was earlier last year 20%. And although we have a 84% market share in this segment, there seems to be a good growth in CNG. On the EV side, we will be launching our first EV, the mid SUV vehicle, which we showed at the Auto Expo in 2024-25 financial year, and we are planning. Our plans are in place for the meeting that schedule. Of course, in 2030, we will have about 15% of our portfolio as electric. We'll have 6 EVs, and that would be across segments. That's an overall summary of the EV plan for Maruti Suzuki.
Right. So, thank you so much for your time today, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you very much.